I'm going to have a look at another vintage kit here, which is really along the lines of my last video, so I figured I'd do this one right now. And this is the ESCI ERTL 1/72 scale Vought A-7B Corsair II. We'll have an inbox look at it here. So for starters, we can see the once again the brilliant artwork by ESCI. Their artwork is beautiful. I'm just looking around here to see if I can see who the artist is, and it doesn't look like it's signed anywhere. I can't really see the signature. Unless it's like an artist who's put like a hidden signature somewhere, I really can't find it, but I would like to know because their artwork is just beautiful. And this one, just like their last release, for whatever reason, this happens to be one of my very favorite units. This is a River Rattlers aircraft, and they're based out of Louisiana, and they're one of my all-time favorite units. And also this is a very beautiful looking aircraft. So that's the artwork we have. And on the side of the box we get these really nice, how they show instead of saying like USA or like the country it is, they just give us the flag, which is Portuguese and American flag. And this is really something that I wish other companies would do. The only company right now I think that does this currently is Kinetic Models. I believe Kinetic Models puts the roundels of the country on their aircraft, because this is something like, if you don't speak English, or even if you have like Asian lettering or Cyrillic lettering like in Greece or Russia or something, all you need to do is see the flag and you know what it is. You don't have to know how to read the language. So that's something I really love about the old ESCI kits, which modern kits could learn from. And on the side we have our typical, it's just the standard information here on modeling, nothing special. On the side of the box we get kit number 9056. I'm guessing because of the last kit I reviewed, which was the F8 Crusader, I'm guessing this is the first boxing, but I'll put in the description whether it's the first boxing or not. So we'll open it up. And I also have a vintage ESCI decal sheet for this one. I'll pull it out here. I'll show the decals themselves. You can see they have quite a bit of yellowing. It isn't terrible yellowing. They may still be able to be usable or salvageable. When it comes to these super old decals, what I normally do is they have to be soaked for a very long time, and then you almost have to peel them off with an a craft knife, because they seem to just be really stuck to the sheet, but they don't tend to break up and crack. That's just sort of what I've found. And we will show the really nice sheet here. So you get a really big write-up. This thing could be almost like a book in itself. You get a massive write-up here in several languages. We have, well, I would assume one of these is Italian, and then I think this is German. We have English here and French. So I'm not sure if maybe we don't have the Spanish language on here, and that's about it. And then it gives us what our subjects here. If there's background noise, it's just my cat playing around, so it might pick it up on camera. I'm not sure, but she's back there playing. So anyways, so here's the subjects on this beautiful sheet. Really, we've got the aircraft from the Roosevelt here. I'm not really too familiar with all the different units of the US Navy, so I'm not going to try and name them, but this one's a really nice one with shark teeth on it. And then we have one from Kitty Hawk, which is really cool. A Saratoga. These are old decommissioned carriers, which is really neat. And a nice one here with the blue nose on it, and a couple down here. And you even get a subject which is a US Air Force Corsair, and it's slightly different than the US Navy one because they use a this one's showing the refueling probe like the Navy one, but the refueling for the US Air Force is actually on top of the wing. We'll look through the kit and we'll actually see if that part is there to actually make an Air Force version out of this kit. Otherwise, you just have multiple variations of the Corsair here. So, and I'll get the instructions and the kit decal out. I think first we'll look at the decal, because I looked at the other ones, and you can see how really nice and sharp, crisp the decals are. This one's been stored properly and flat. I imagine that these would be pretty usable, and I would really want to use them because they look really nice and sharp. Like all of the black lettering, the stars and everything look really super nice. I would recommend though getting some of the like the microsole or the set the stuff that you put over top of the decal to try and preserve it. I would probably do that, but you can see how beautiful the River Rattlers is there. Very clear, very sharp. And the Portuguese decals there, and they give you the, I'm guessing these would be markings that are in Spanish specifically for that aircraft. So their decals are excellent. It's just a shame they're a little bit old. And to be honest, they're not that old. I believe they're like something like a little over 30 years, which isn't necessarily that old. And here's our instruction sheet. We have our information on the sheet here, like a small blurb. And we'll go into our instructions. It's giving us our color callouts here. Really isn't too much to it. They have federal standard colors on here. That's about it for that, and we can see our various steps here. There isn't too much work to it. You can see the decal placements for the cockpit and the injection seat, our wings, and the main fuselage, and our other parts here for the landing gear. So there's enough parts in here. Our aircraft. Interesting how the front intake there, how they've split the front in two, and it's actually not open. So that's something you may want to open yourself. I'm not sure how visible that's going to be in 70-second scale. And so here we have adding that refueling probe. So that is an optional piece you could leave off for the Air Force variant if you had the decal sheet. And there's our pylons. And it looks like we've got quite a bit of ordnance here. Snake eyes, and I think that's a fuel tank. I don't think that's a bomb. We got the sidewinders, and it's showing us, I guess, where to put our ordnance. I'm not sure if that's a strict thing that they've gone off, or they're just telling you for the kit where to put it. And here's our canopy. You can have the canopy open then, I guess. And we'll look at our subjects. So here's the aircraft here that we're going to be painting. Pretty basic two-tone coloring. And the really brilliant Portuguese aircraft. If you're into painting, like, this is a perfect aircraft because it's got the full wraparound camouflage. They're really beautiful aircraft, and like as they got later in life, they were just completely beat up. Like the paint was peeling off of them, chipping off of them, so you can really detail these out really nice. So we have that option there, and we will go into the kit itself. They come bagged like this. I believe their 1/48 scale stuff is usually stapled bag, but this is a sealed bag, and they also should say made in Italy. They put that sticker on all their bags there, at least later on. And we will open it up. I missed the seam altogether again, so we'll pull it out here. We'll go into the weapons last. Okay, so we're getting, I can already see it looks excellent, but we'll go with our weapons racks. They look actually amazing for 70-second scale. They look amazing, definitely usable. And here's our racks. You can see they've even put an attempt at like sway braces on the racks. That is really nice that they've done that. Like, it's well detailed. And our fuselage is absolutely amazing. Like, the detail on this, actually this looks better than the Crusader, honestly. The detail, and I've said it in about other kits and that, how the panel lines look too heavy or too deep, and this looks to be about perfect. Like, it's so sharp and it isn't very deep. Like, they look just awesome in there. And then we actually have detail in our gear bays there. Like, the detail, I mean, you can see for yourself how excellent it actually looks. And on our tail here, the tail is only, this would be sort of a complaint sort of thing, because this needs to be a little bit heavier cut out for your I can't remember if they're ailerons, the stabilizer there anyways. But the detail is awesome. And yeah, so the Air Force refueling probe thing, it goes like on here. And I'm not really seeing anything on the sprue. That would be it yet anyways. So here's the bottom of our wing, and you have no choice, you have the pylons open. Which, I mean, when do you ever see a Corsair without pylons on it? So here's our wings. The flaps, again, the flaps and the ailerons, they could be carved out, but it would be so simple to carve them out. And they do have a little bit deeper of a panel line. So, like, everything's excellent all the way around. And the sidewinder rails, excellent. I'll flip it around here so you can see the other side and the underside of the wing. So you have that piece that plugs in here. It's a really nice spot where they plugged it in, because you're going to have pylons and ordnance over here. You're never going to really pay attention to any gaps or anything there. Not sure why there's two holes up here. There's a different variation that there might be a different variation that has a little, like a stabilizer piece on there. I'm not sure. Let's see here. Not exactly sure why this is. I guess it's just the can for the rear end. Okay, yeah, it is, because there is detail down in there. I kind of missed it. I thought it was just an empty can, but yeah, it's quite detailed. So this thing looks really awesome so far. And here's the fuselage again. I mean, excellent. The gun isn't open, but you could probably easily open that. And the tail again. And so the tail plane, because of the way you put it in, it wouldn't pivot. It's not a big deal. So really nice. And our wing again. Just go fast over that. Our wheels look nice. The ejection seat is actually really good. Looks quite a bit better than the Crusader one. Like, the details are a little more sharp on it. And then of course we're going to be using a decal for our instruments. So there's nothing you can really say about it, because that's the way they did their kits back in the day. And then there's our front section there. And our landing gear looks really nice and sharp to scale. Very delicate. The tail planes. And the doors, the inside of the doors here, I don't really think you're going to see anything in there anyways, but they look okay. And the back of the seat actually has a little bit of detail to it. I'm just looking over the sprue to see if there's any Air Force parts on here, and I don't see that refueling probe yet. So there's that. And we'll go into this here, which is our refueling probe for the nose, and actually that looks excellent too. Like it's actually got an end to the nozzle there. So that's really cool, really well detailed. I'm not sure if the Portuguese aircraft, if they use it or they took it off for a specific variant. I'm not sure about these. If that's a piece that you have to add to the tail where that where those two little holes were or something. I'm not positive. There's your front wheel, your gear there. And the wheels look excellent. Really nice. I'm assuming that's the distinctive pattern that they should have. because we're getting a couple, I think, in here. Or no, the other ones were off the front. They were off the front, and then another piece here. So that looks really good. I mean, all of the detail on the aircraft itself is awesome. I can see right now these are awesome too, because they actually have little fuses in them. I mean, the bombs, oftentimes they won't have a fuse, or they'll go to a point at the end which is like incorrect, or like a training one. But yeah, these snake eyes look great. They're totally passable. And they're actually solid bombs too. They're not actually double piece bombs. Really nice. Really nice. This is excellent. Excellent sheet there. And we might as well go into our glass. Here's our glass work. It's got the really nice correct shape there. You can see here. And the clarity of it, it kind of is what it is. It's nice. Actually, this one, I almost always complain about the thickness of the glass, and this one isn't that thick. This is actually one that's actually a very nice, thin canopy for once. And also like I've been dinged around with age, and after thinking about it from the last kit, actually that's kind of nice, because if you look on the front, I'm not sure how well it'll show, you see scratches and things, but that's how they actually look in real life. It doesn't take very long to be scuffed up like that, so it's almost like they've pre-weathered it when you get it into the kit. And oh, okay, see, this must have come after the Crusader, because this has the lines on the outside, so you could cut yourself a little mask there. The problem with the Crusader was they put these lines, these raised lines on the inside, so there was like no good way of cutting yourself a mask on the canopy. So that's really nice too. As nice as that Crusader was, everything I'm seeing in this kit is like twice as good as that kit, honestly. And we'll go into our last sprue, and here's our wing tanks. I mean, wing tanks just kind of are what they are, but they have a really nice small seam here. It isn't like overly heavy. Here's our sidewinders, and the sidewinders look excellent. You can see even the little minute details on them. What I would just do with this is I would probably try and get a photo etch set and just replace the front fins on there, but they look excellent. Here's our cockpit, which is just a decal anyways, as I mentioned. Some more pylons in the inside of the cockpit there. I don't see the little refueling probe for an Air Force version, and I'm not an expert on the Portuguese version, but it may just be that they left the probe off the side. I don't know. And so like if you had this sheet, this ESCI sheet, you probably would have to get the Air Force version, or that piece is not a big deal, or just leave the refueling probe off the front, and you probably could get away with it. It's not a big deal. But this kit is, I would say this kit holds up with, other than the cockpit, which is something easily could be replaced. You could put a resin pilot, a resin seat in there. Other than the cockpit, this thing is like, I would say it holds up pretty good with modern standards, and like top tier, especially for ESCI. And this is the ESCI 1/72nd scale Vought A-7B Corsair II. And thank you for watching.